Good morning, small business community. My name is Leland McFarland with Small Business Trends, and you have arrived at the Small Business Spotlight, a place where I like to shine a light on the news, deals, and stories that are important to small business owners that help them run their business successfully. So, without further ado, let's get into the news. All right, first up in the news. In a recent congressional hearing, the House Committee on Small Businesses focused on how small home builders can help solve America's housing crisis. Many families are finding it harder to afford homes, with over half of American households unable to buy a $300,000 home. Chairman Roger Williams emphasized that home ownership is crucial for personal stability and growth, noting that around half of all new businesses start in homes. He pointed out that when housing construction slows, communities struggle to thrive, especially for young families and small business owners. Small builders have shown their ability to innovate using methods like modular housing and even 3D printing to reduce construction time and cost. However, they face challenges from strict regulations and limited funding, which can inflate home prices. For example, compliance with various regulations can account for a significant part of development costs, stifling the ability of small builders to meet housing demands. Some local governments are starting to adjust regulations, leading to positive changes in housing markets. In Austin, Texas, looser rules have sparked new construction projects. This discussion is vital to supporting small builders and can lead to job creation and economic growth in communities. I totally agree. And I love the idea of being able to loosen up some regulations. We still do need some regulations in place. We want to make sure that the people buying these homes have a good home. And that's actually a lot of what I see. The problem with new construction homes is that they're not necessarily the best. I've heard the horror stories. You know, there's that YouTuber out there, and he does home inspections of brand new homes and oftentimes finds a lot wrong with them. And so making sure that the houses are actually good, livable, and people aren't getting scammed, I'm for that. But making it hard for construction companies to even break ground, I'm not all in favor of that. Putting in red tape, making costs out of the ballpark, it's like making it too much for fees and regulations. It's too much. In Oregon, they've made it to where any kind of structural change, like it used to be fairly loose, like you can actually draft up your own plans, be able to do your own little home construction projects. But now every structural change needs to be put past an architect and an engineer. And you're probably like sitting there saying, well, yeah, that should be obvious. But there's a lot of people out there who are willing to do the work themselves. They're wanting to do it themselves, and they're doing it just fine and shouldn't have to pay $5,000 in order to be able to get blueprints done up for just a small shack or a small addition. Or heck, I've wanted to build my own garage. I don't want to have to pay an engineer to build up blueprints when I could just make myself a structurally sound garage. And as long as it passes inspections, that's what should matter. But yeah, all for tamping down some regulations. All right. Next up. In a recent report by Freshworks, mid-market companies are losing about 25% of their AI budgets due to what's called a compliancy tax. This results in an estimated annual loss of $16.29 billion in the U.S. alone. The study includes responses from over 12,000 IT professionals and indicated that while nearly 90% of mid-market leaders plan to increase AI spending, In the next 2 years, only 15% have successfully integrated AI into their core operations. Many are stuck in pilot programs, with 36% reporting delays in seeing any real benefit from their AI investments. The report highlights that mid-market companies with tougher profit margins are particularly affected by barriers like complicated system integrations and talent shortages, causing delays in return on investments. Many executives expect returns within 8 months. Ooh, that's a tight deadline. But deployment can often take 6 to 12 months, pushing back potential gains. Furthermore, IT teams are feeling overwhelmed by increased workloads due to AI complexity, leading to flawed outputs and increased reworking, which the report terms AI slop. As a result, many businesses are reevaluating their AI purchase strategies. They're looking for solutions that integrate easily with existing systems and showcasing quick value. A significant shift is seen, with more firms prioritizing workflow integration and favoring built-in AI workflows over complex setups. By focusing on more user-friendly AI solutions, mid-market companies can turn these challenges into advantages. So I'm all for this, and this is the one thing that I'm kind of advocating. If you're going to get into AI with the products that you're already using. Don't try to go out there and make something brand new. I'm doing that, so I'm not following my own advice, but the stuff that I need doesn't necessarily exist out there in the wild. What I'm wanting is something special. And if you do need something special, by all means, go down that path. But first, start your AI journey, especially if you're a small business owner. This is more mid-size. They're probably needing something a little bit more specialized. But if you're a small business, start in the apps that you're already using. Look at QuickBooks. Look at the AI features that it has. Utilize those features. Look at Zoho. Zoho has a lot of AI throughout its apps, and it allows you to be able to save time here and there. And that's going to be the ultimate goal that you're going to want to do when it comes to AI. Find the little things that add up quickly. No. All right. Google recently announced that Google Display Ads is joining forces with demand gen campaigns to improve online advertising. This change allows small business owners to more easily manage their presence across Google's vast display network, which includes over 2 million websites, videos, and apps. With this new integration, businesses can boost customer engagement and encourage purchases. Google reports that using the display network with demand gen strategies could lead to an average ROI increase of 9.5%. For example, the food delivery service GoFood saw a 24% reduction in acquisition cost and 19% rise in conversions after making this change. A Google spokesperson highlighted that demand gen can significantly grow businesses by utilizing platforms like YouTube and other virtual spaces while providing flexible advertising options. However, small business owners should prepare for this transition by using Google's migration tools and resources, which will be available until 2027. So I guess it's now available and it will be available until 2027. Okay. So anything that can get your business out there a little bit more and make things a little bit easier, all the better. I love making tools easy enough so that the average person can get into them and you don't need to hire an expert. Now, you can still save some time. You can potentially maybe save some money by hiring an expert. It just depends on your situation. But if you're a real small business and you're wanting to kind of do things on your own, or if you're more into the hobbyist field to where this is like a side gig, this is a very good option to be able to put out your business, get some more demand going up, and be able to do it on your own without the need of spending a whole bunch of money on something on a professional. I like it. All right. In its latest report, Visa warns of significant rise in AI-driven scams that are putting small businesses at risk. From July to September of 2025, scammers committed nearly $1 billion in fraud, making scams the leading form of consumer payment fraud. These scams often involved impersonating trusted brands and creating false sense of urgency to trick people into making payments. Visa's chief risk officer, wow, how do you get that title? Chief Risk Officer, Paul Fabar, stressed that while payment networks are becoming safer, scammers are shifting their tactics, focusing more on social engineering rather than tactical breaches. This means that small business owners need to be aware of how these scams operate and take steps to protect their customers. Key findings suggest that traditional fraud decreases, social engineering is on the rise. Businesses must train employees to spot scams and foster a culture of security and awareness. Although ransomware incidences are up, fewer victims are paying ransoms, indicating a need for businesses to rethink their response. Visa's SVP, Michael Jabara, highlighted that AI has made it easier for scammers to execute their plans, calling for stronger defenses. Small business owners are encouraged to educate staff, implement stronger, authentic procedures, engaging with customers about payment security, and looking into AI tools that can help detect fraud. So it is, and I've been hit. Had a call, and I've said it on this, police officer saying that, I missed a court date or something to that effect, and now I need to pay basically bail on this, and I wasn't thinking clearly, and they got me with the fear tactics. They got me with the isolation. You can't talk to anyone about this. You can't go and verify. Always verify. Always verify. Even if they say, don't hang up or else you're in trouble, say, okay, well then I guess I'll be in trouble, but I'm going to verify. Always verify that what's going on is what is actually going on. If you're being called and they're saying you owe a lot of money, pay right now, no. Be like, I will call you back and I will verify that this is actually legit. But yes, be vigilant. It's a crazy world out there, and these scammers, especially with AI, are getting smarter, and they're being able to hide behind fake accents. They're being able to do deep fakes. They're able to get actual good information because of AI, and it's not stupid, silly, I'm a prince now from it's no longer I'm a prince from Nigeria. It's, you're in trouble. This is what's going to happen. You're going to go to jail. So pay us now. So stay vigilant. All right, on to the next section, our deals. And I got quite a few deals this week. I'm getting a little bit better at finding them. So first up, Woot has a special on Milwaukee power tools. They have a 10% off, extra 10% off deal going until June 6th at 11:58 Central Time. So if you're in construction or you need to freshen up some of your tools, you enjoy the Milwaukee brand, it's a good brand. Check out this deal. You can get some batteries, some tools. Awesome opportunity. This is a Lenovo 15-inch. It is a gaming laptop, but in this AI world, having a gaming laptop is kind of an asset. I have a gaming laptop for my professional. I got one for personal, but Professional, because it's a powerful beast of a machine. I don't have slowdown. I don't have lag. And this is a really good option. It's got a, 32 gigs of RAM, which RAM right now, really expensive. So for $1,300, and I believe that there was an option, down there for $150, you can get an upgrade to a 5070 if you wanted something a little bit more. So if you're wanting to do something local with AI, being able to have a gaming PC is actually a very good option. And I'm going to probably get a lot of hate from gamers of like, leave our gaming stuff alone because it's so expensive. But get that benefit. If you're wanting to run something locally because of privacy issues, it's a great option to be able to get a gaming PC, set up an LLM, or be able to do some image generation or something to that effect locally. These kind of PCs are a great option. HP OmniBook 7. This is a 17-inch. I love me a 17-inch, really big PC. The benefit of this one, now it's $760, and that comes with 16 gigs of RAM. It does come with like an Intel graphics card. It's the ARC graphics card, so decent for doing some AI. But where this deal really sings is that you, for $80, if you decide to buy this for $80, you can get 32 gigs of RAM instead of 16 gigs of RAM, and a better graphics card. And for that price, that's really good. And that will be able to give you like a small LLM and be able to do some pretty good image generation. Now, it is an ARC graphics card and not like an NVIDIA graphics card, and a lot of the LLMs kind of more tailored towards the NVIDIA side. But you should still be able to get some really good performance out of this and be able to get potentially be able to do some AI. It's not as good as the last one because the last one had a much better processor and all that, much better graphics card, but this will still be a really good option, but it's a bit on the cheaper side, so it has that benefit. And for those Mac enthusiasts, I didn't forget about you. We have here a MacBook Air 15-inch for M4 chip, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 SSD. It is an open box, so not used, not refurbished, but open box option for $1,000. Normally, what was it? It was like, normally they're $1,400, so you save $400. So if you're a Mac fan and you're wanting to save a couple $100 and you need something and you don't really care, this would be a good option for you. All right, on to the Reddit stories. So I landed my first client through a random lunch conversation. Now I'm stuck at $600 a month and genuinely don't know what I'm missing. A couple of years ago, I was at lunch with a friend and his brother casually mentioned he knew someone in the Maldives who needed a website built for their resort chain. I'd been just laid off and I jumped on it immediately. That conversation turned into a $1,500 contract. Yeah. I had 0 clients the day before and I had 1 the day after. That lucky break gave me enough confidence to go all in. I door knocked, attended networking events, trade shows, local seminars. I hustled hard enough to keep things moving for about 1.5 years, covering web design, social media management, and SEO. Not getting rich, but consistent enough to keep going. Then a few months ago, everything dried up. Right now, I have 2 clients paying me a combination of $600 a month for Instagram creatives, and that's it. I have the skills and the ability to deliver, but I've hit a complete deadlock on getting new clients. I've tried cold emails, cold calling, Upwork, and referrals. all either not working or working too slowly. I need to get around $3,000 to $4,000 per month, or I'm in serious financial trouble. Not exaggerating, I'm just in the red. I know I have a sales problem. I just can't figure out what I'm missing. For anyone who's been in this exact same exact place, complete deadlock, skills but no client, finances getting scary. How do you get out of it? What would you do differently if you were me right now? I'm not looking for generic advice. I genuinely need someone who's been there and who's actually moved the needle for them. I've worked in a marketing company, and it is tough. It is tough always trying to find that next client. And that was something that the owner of that marketing company could never really get over. My biggest advice to you is trying to find ways to put yourself into the business to the point to where you have a monthly reoccurring fee from them. So when you're selling these service websites, all of that, hey, I'm going to take care of the hosting. You do the hosting through me, not through, I'm not going to turn over the keys, but with that, you get security updates. I'm going to make sure that nothing breaks when updates happen, those kinds of things. And you say, I'll do that for $50 a month, $100 a month. And then you have the security knowing that your website is taken care of completely. Or, SEO plans, same thing. Hey, I'm going to be monitoring your SEO. It's an upfront fee of this to be able to do all the SEO work, but we'll go do a monthly rate afterwards. It's really tough in this website market because we're getting into in a time in which small business owners can actually do their own work. They can boot up Wix, they can get Zoho sites, they can get Square. They can do this by themselves, point and click. It may not be as good as what you can offer, but it'll do. And that's a lot of small business owners' attitude on it. It'll work. It'll get people to the website, and then it, as long as they get my phone number and they call me, I'm golden. You got to elevate what you're doing beyond what they can do themselves to be able to bring in leads, to be able to drive more traffic. You have to sell that aspect to it. This one's a little bit of a long one. I fired an employee out of the blue yesterday with no warning, and she had an entire crash out. I'm really struggling. We're a small business, like 5 employees. We own a dog boarding and grooming salon. One kennel attendant is great with the dog, treats them like her own, and the part of her job that she is great at. When she is not being a pain in the butt, she has somewhat of a toxic attitude. She is negative due to her own experiences in life, complains sometimes about having to work with others. People are just mean to her. She calls in a lot due to medical issues, probably 3 times a month, and will call in an hour before her shift, or will be up to an hour and a half tardy a few times a month. I'm a lenient boss. I don't micromanage people, but I expect that they know that they should be at work. Recently, she has been posting on social media indirectly about the company or myself, saying things like, "I'm about to just be done. It's always about my 1 year anniversary." She recently called in the same day. I didn't hear from her and all day because she was sick. So checked in around 8:30 p.m. and asked how she was feeling for the next day, and also added to see if she could come in an hour early to start cleaning for the day because we had a job interview and would want to likely do a tour. Context: on Tuesdays we are closed to the public, and so she cleans as a way to keep busy and a full-time job because she is not here on Monday. Oh, this is really written funny. I couldn't talk to her about the planned interview and how we would keep things tidy so it looked nice. But everything was a mess, and her boarding kennels needed cleaned. She said that in the text that night that she didn't think that she would be able to do the next day, and that she was still sick, and told me that she wished I would have planned that interview better. Like around her illness. I told her that it had been planned since Sunday, and that had she been there, we would have been able to discuss the interview. I find out she texted an employee something along the lines of, "The stuff boss texted me, I just take weird." No. I just freaked out at 3 a.m. My bad. Honestly, I don't like her attitude or the way she talks to me. I fired her because I don't want to deal with her, and I think she will just get worse. She brings the morale down. Her teammates are... Yeah, this just keeps going on. So she fired her, and... Okay. Her feedback, didn't take it very well normally. I don't think about it would help me or decide to just fire her. She, 35 years old, instantly called her mom and said, "Tell her why you guys are firing me." It was strange, but she definitely crashed out, deleted me off of social media. By keeping her on, I could have been missing out on good employees. She texted me and my husband wanting to talk about it and try to explain all of her misconceptions, yada yada, just ignored it. So I think that both people kind of handled this. Just firing someone out of the blue, I mean, it can happen, but I see firing a person out of the blue is something more for an egregious thing, not necessarily small issues that add up over time. If you want to fire someone over these small issues, document it, and bring it to her attention every time and be like, you are getting a written warning. 3 written warnings gets a write-up. 3 write-ups get a dismissal. Have a pattern so that when inevitably this person files for unemployment, you can come back to them and say, they were fired with cause. Here's what happened. They were bad-mouthing me. They were doing this. And it was just unacceptable. I talked with them. I gave them a plan to get them back on. When you're dealing with a difficult employee, that's what you need to do to be able to cover your own backside. Is unexpected shipping costs the main reason people abandon checkout? We keep losing people at the shipping estimated step. I'm honestly not sure if it's fixable or if we just move the problem around. Like, if we show the cost estimates earlier, does that actually help? Or do people just drop off at a different point instead? Also, the mid-typing form validation thing, is that still a real conversation killer? Or have browsers kind of sorted that out by now? Mid-typing form validation thing. What the heck is that? We still had it on our phone field somehow, and it looks pretty bad in session recordings, not going to lie. The more barriers that you have between you, your customer, and buying the product, the more opportunities it is for them to be able to leave. That's first thing. So take out that mid-typing form validation thing. Find a way, if you're going to validate the customer, do it through CAPTCHAs, do it through browser checks or something to that effect. Not sure what else is going on with that. When it comes to shipping, Amazon has really kind of spoiled us to be able to get free shipping. So maybe you offer free shipping when it comes to like a certain dollar amount. That might encourage people to be able to buy more. I know that I've personally padded my order to be able to hit that free shipping threshold. That's one good option. Another good option is to be able to try to find ways to decrease the price of shipping. it just depends on. I wish that they would have included a little bit of option, like how much is shipping? Is it $5? Is it $30? I don't know. And so, is that something that can be built into the price? Can you just increase the price of the product a little bit to kind of cover shipping? That way you get free shipping, but it's included into the price. That's something as an option. Or you look into options for being able to reduce the amount of shipping. Can you utilize USPS's flat rate shipping so that every person, no matter what, if they're going to Alaska or Hawaii or the other side of the United States, it's going to be the same amount as the person who's just down the street, and hopefully that actually levels it off. And if it is a flat rate shipping, maybe that is something that you can easily be able to integrate into the price of the product a little bit better. But yeah, Amazon's ruined us. A plea from a guy who literally provides business funding. Stop taking out loans you don't actually need. I know it sounds ridiculous coming from a man who makes his living deploying capital, but I need to say it. Stop taking money just because you can. Hustle culture has completely warped how people view debt. Taking on massive lines of credit isn't a badge of honor. I talk to local business owners and agency guys every single day who are taking out debt just to fix operational nightmares. Here's the reality. Funding doesn't actually fix a broken business model. It just makes it die faster. My golden rule: before I fund anyone, you need to be able to show me on a napkin exactly how every single dollar I give you is going to directly print more than $1 in 90 days. That's a tight turnaround, but I get it. Buying inventory in bulk to boost your margins. Smart. Bridging a seasonal cash flow gap so you don't lose your best guys. Totally fine. Remodeling your office because you want to look like Silicon Valley startup? Absolutely not. Protect your cash flow, man. If anybody wants a gut check, if they actually need capital right now, or if you just need a tighten up operationals, ask away. Happy to be a sounding board. Absolutely. Don't go into debt for debt's sake. It's got to be something important. It's got to be something that is going to actually make you money. Like he says, freshening up a place using debt, not a good idea. Use your profits to be able to freshen up over time. Have this Indian restaurant. I love it. They went to Home Depot or Walmart. I mean, you get in there, it kind of looks a little chic, but you get closer and you realize, oh, the wall decorations are a little on the cheap side. They went to Walmart. They went and bought the cheap little wall decoration, textured wall panels that look geometric. It looks nice in there. They put up some curtains. They made it, and it's a small little restaurant. I mean, 8 seats total. But they made it look really good. But I don't believe they went into debt. You could look and you can see they did it themselves. They put in some sweat equity. And the front door, that was the real issue. Anytime I'd go in, it was sticky. It was not that it would stick. It was hard to close, open, those kinds of issues. They fixed that over time with their profits. They didn't go out and take out a loan to be able to refinish the whole thing. They went and did it over time, and that's what you need to be able to do with your profits. It's to be able to expand your business. That is all I got for you. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. It helps me with the algorithm. If you came across this naturally, organically, hit that subscribe button. I do this every week, and hopefully it's enjoyable. And if at any point you said, that was totally off the mark, there's a comment section there. Let me know how you would have done it a little bit better. All right, until next time, have a great week.